and just go, and just throw caution into the wind and just start walking. And the beautiful thing about it is that even if you start to fall, he picks you up before you drown, and you continue walking. Sometimes persons forget the fact that when Peter began to sink, that they still had to walk back on the water towards the boat. The lesson didn't finish when he began to sink. The lesson continued into the boat. Sometimes we think so much about how we have failed or how we began to sink, and not focus on the fact that God caught me before I drowned. We think so much about how we failed, and not think about how much the grace of God has covered our failures. We could think so much about ourselves other than the fact that by God's grace you had the ability to actually overcome, even if you didn't do it properly. Even if you didn't do all the steps properly, his grace did enough for you to actually overcome that situation. So why can't you think that his grace can lead you on the water, on the untrodden ground? Jesus doesn't call anybody and everybody to walk on the water with him. He calls those who he trusts. And something you have to ask yourself: does God trust me? Does God trust me to walk on the water with him? Sometimes he calls the persons who will represent him well. So sometimes you have to ask yourself, can I represent God well on the water? And it's not really a question for you to ask yourself to say no that you won't, but a question to ask yourself so you can say, well, I will depend on his grace while I'm walking, so he can teach me how to walk properly. Sometimes we could think so much about ourselves and how well we do it, except we don't think sometimes about how well Jesus did on the cross, how good his sacrifice was, that it covers a multitude of sin and also makes up for where we lack. Sometimes we don't think about the fact that, okay, well, his grace is sufficient for me, so therefore when I'm weak, when I'm weak in my own self, that is when his grace works best. Sometimes we have to get to a point where we can't help ourselves. Sometimes you have to get to the point where you begin to drown so that you can actually depend on his grace to pull you up. And really and truly, sometimes those occasions are needed. Not needed so that you can beat yourself over the head and say, well, I didn't do a good job, but it's for you to say, God, I thank you for your grace for keeping me up above the water from not drowning. Sometimes we think so much about our own achievements that we forget the biggest achievement that's ever been won through Jesus Christ, his grace. This is really what I want to say. Walk on the water with Jesus, no matter how it may seem in the moment. If you know that he's calling you to walk on the water with him, then get off the boat. Get off the boat. Pray. Do what we have to do to confirm the voice of God, and just walk. Just walk with God. You'd be surprised of where he takes you. You'd be surprised of how much he wants to trust you, to show him to others. It's an interesting life that we live. And it gets even more interesting with God, and there's more surety when it comes to God. Because then you know that if you begin to sink, he's going to catch you. And it's going to be his grace, and his grace does everything that's ever needed. It's everything you ever need for his grace is the full package. My encouragement to you is just jump out the boat, walk on the water towards Jesus. If you begin to drown, he's going to catch you. And when he catches you, continue to walk. Say, Lord, I need to learn some new things. I need to learn this here. He says, okay, let's walk. Let's go. Don't be afraid of the fact that mistakes will happen. It's all learning. You weren't born walking on the water. You have to learn, step out by faith and say, okay, I can do the same thing Jesus did. And just take the risk. Jump off the boat. Start walking. If you begin to sink, he's going to catch you. And run with God and see where he takes you. See what he has planned. And have fun. Have fun depending on his grace. Hey, why not? Just why not? But yeah, that's all I got. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.